we think that people have already made up their mind about Diddy before the trial
In the jury?
is even over? No, just in the public
I
court of
I,
opinion.
What
I
the
think
fuck?
I think the
Yes.
severity of a lot of the charges, and also him being on video beating Cassie the fuck up, was like, all right, bro, like clearly you know what I'm saying? You laying physical violence and physical pain out.
But he's being charged for trafficking women. So even though he is
trafficking
trafficking women,
human.
oh yeah, no, women and men,
I
right?
think at this point,
But even though you can be a piece of
And
shit
drugs.
and an abuser and all that stuff, but does that prove that?
But
you traffic.
Can I
traffic?
say, though,
I don't know if that necessarily proves that.
on the record, trafficking can be taken out of context sometimes.
Look at this nigga defending Diddy.
I'm not defending
It's like,
Diddy,
nah, it's like, nah.
but trafficking seems
Not it is though, because they say like when you fly out,
yeah,
that's trafficking.
yeah. Like,
but
if you
mad
fly
niggas
across
fly
state
somebody out.
lines and get compensated and do something that's trafficking. But
Oh, you know what I want to talk about? Kid Cudi just testified today,
yeah, I didn't look at that.
and
Yeah.
Cudi testified that Combs broke into his Hollywood Hills home after discovering Cudi's relationship with Cassie in 2011. Cudi found his dog locked in a bathroom and found his Christmas gift tampered with. Upon learning of the break-in, Cudi called Combs, who calmly replied, "I'm over here waiting for you,"
Huh.
which Cudi found unsettling. Weeks later, Cudi's Porsche was destroyed by a Molotov cocktail in his driveway. He testified that he had no other enemies at the time and believed Combs to be responsible. Cudi described a subsequent meeting with Combs at the Soho House in Los Angeles, where Combs stood with his hands behind his back, resembling a quote-unquote Marvel supervillain.
He's standing like this. Like, go ahead. What you about to say?
When Cudi confronted Combs about the car incident, Combs denied involvement, saying, "I don't know what you're talking about." Years later, Combs offered a general apology, which Cudi interpreted as an admission of guilt.
Well,
So he blew a nigga's car up,
did
bro?
you see how Kid Cudi pulled up to the trial today?
No, I didn't.
I was gonna be like, bro, imagine this. You blew up this nigga's car. He pulls up with a cigarette in his mouth, shades on, umbrella, paparazzi. He's smiling.
Yeah, he like,
fuck
we about to
your
get
life
you.
He
up.
about to get you out of here.
Fuck
get
you.
you-
This
about to get you
nigga
out of
is
here.
treating your fucking trial like a fucking joke.
Bro,
think-
what does a nigga have to do to your girl for you to be like,
I'm about to
I'm gonna
nuke your
blow his
car.
car up? You could have. Like, what if he was in a car? He didn't care. I mean, obviously he ain't know he was
Fuck
in the
that
car,
nigga.
right? But he
Fuck
was
that
like, I'm
nigga,
about to
bro.
blow his.
Fuck that
I'm
nigga.
gonna give it a beam with really high profile cases like this. Especially in terms of like public opinion, bro. It don't matter what the charge is.
Yeah.
It can be trafficking, whatever it is. But if that jury is like, nah, we need to get this nigga the fuck out of human general population,
Then
they gonna say what, bro. They don't give a fuck what the evidence is, because remember, it's still a group of people who was voting on this case.
Yeah.
Is he guilty or not guilty? And if there's enough people in that trial that's like, yo, this nigga's a bad person, which 9 times out of 10, that's a lot of what like these types of cases are.
I
It's
think
like,
that's what they're trying
is
to
this
do.
person a bad enough person to even do this kind of shit?
I think they're just gonna paint they're trying to paint the image of him being like the worst nigga possible,
Yeah.
right? And then at that point, it's
They
like,
gonna tag
well,
on whatever charge
you're
they give
guilty.
him. Yeah.
I know you're guilty because look what you
I
did.
think Diddy's gonna get away. I wouldn't be surprised,
Bro.
if
Like,
he got off.
if you think about it though, if you think about it, this is how trials are. Like, this is how it's always been, bro. If we date all the way back to Civil War and all this shit, bro. White folks used to be like, that man's a black man. He's an N-word, whatever, yada yada, boom boom boom. He must have did the most vile shit to this white woman.
Oh, me too.
You know what I'm saying? We about to get him going. We about to
Be
electrocute
that
him. We about to
elite
beat
of,
him the
like,
fuck up. We about to do this. We about to do that. Yada yada, boom 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 boom.
That's
boom.
a crazy bar,
That is.
bro. I don't know why Lil Wayne said that.
No
That's
backlash.
karate
No
chop.
backlash.
That's before cancel culture.
Anyways, folks, the moral of the story is beware of how you're perceived.